what if, right? What if ADHD or attention deficits in general, what if it wasn't a problem? What if, dare I say, oh no psychologists, oh no psychiatrists, oh no therapists, I'm gonna say it. What if ADHD was an advantage? What if it was a core benefit? What if it was helpful? What if it gave you unique advantages? Alright? Because over the years, I've dabbled with the idea that I might have ADHD. And I've pretty much gotten to the point where I'm like, perhaps if I got tested, they'd be like, oh yeah, you got it. Do you want some meds? I'd be like, no. In fact, story time. Hold on, let me make sure this is recording. Story time. So, maybe a relative that will be nameless, that will be, that will be thankless. No. Okay, so a relative that will be nameless, gave me one of his ADHD pills, and he's like, look, man, just try it, because pretty sure he thought, or thinks currently, that I have undiagnosed ADHD, and it's like, yeah, whatever. And he gave me one of his ADHD pills. He's like, look, try it. If it makes you, feel better, think better, just go in for a little checkup, a little, run some tests, whatever, man. So, just take this pill, just try it out, man, just try it out. Yeah, sure. So, this was when I was, one of the times that I was living in Colorado. Now, fair is fair. If you're watching this video months down the road, I might be there currently. But currently not living in Colorado. Or am I? Ooh, just to send people off the trail. Just like, I want to find out where this guy lives. Listen. And yes, maybe these side tangents that I'm doing here and there that I'm very aware of, maybe that may be indicative of said attention deficits. But we'll talk more about the advantages soon enough, because I consider the side tangents, the creativity aspect, a very strong advantage. So we will talk about that soon. But anyway, so my brother gave me an ADHD pill, and he's like, hey man, so try it out. You might like it. It might get you thinking. Okay, cool. So I give it a couple days, and then I get off work. It was like an early shift, and I got off at I got home at plus or minus 3 p.m., and I'm like, alright, let's see what this thing's all about. Mistake number one. You should, if you have an ADHD pill, apparently you're supposed to take it in the morning. Ideally in the early morning, because it's potent. So therefore, it's going to be working on you all day. So therefore, take it in the earlier morning. Do that. So I took mine at 3 p.m. Not thinking too much of it. Not also thinking much of the fact that since I meditate a lot and I do intermittent fasting pretty much every day, like it's become second nature. Like I'm generally not hungry at all, like until after 2 p.m. Which honestly is kind of cool, because it's like not only do you save money on food, people might argue the complete opposite, but I find a huge amount of energy and mental, emotional, soulful clarity when I'm not eating, and I'm staying plenty hydrated, even though I find a lot of mental, emotional, soulful clarity from dry fasting as well. Again, you can have people that say the complete opposite, but who cares, right? DIY, do it yourself, try it out for yourself, feel it out for yourself, and see what you get, right? So I intermittent fast, I dry fast, like currently, right now, it's almost noon. Dry fasting, whatever, I feel great. I busted out 71 push-ups this morning. That's right, 71. Yeah. Every push-up counts. But, and I got me a dip bar. I love dip bars. Get you one. So, took the ADHD pill. And at 3 p.m., mind you, which was a no-no, mind you, I was absolutely zing. It was an absolute zinger. So it's like pros and cons. Yes, I was much more attentive to the things that I was involved in. Basically, doing research, trying to find things to buy, to sell, right, flipping, and then doing just psychological research. So, in that sense, yeah, I was more attentive, but, you know, the catch-22, the flip side, like, everything's got a flip side, where it's like, yeah, you can be more attentive, but if you're not, like, mentally, emotionally, in, like, a good place, you can just be doing hours and hours of research on, like, you know, whether it be really, like, deep, dark, like, psychology type stuff, or, like, media type manipulation type stuff, right? So it's like, yeah, you could be productive, but if it's, like, on, like, deep, dark, you know, dark psychology type stuff, which I found myself dabbling in to an extent, it's like, yeah, get informed to an extent, but, like, don't be like, oh my gosh, everything's a psyop. Ah! Like, don't get too far down that rabbit hole. You could see media psyops for what they are and be like, okay, cool. I'm not going to play into that. I'm not going to be, you know, attacked by that. I'm not going to be swayed by that. I'm going to be, you know, a conscious consumer, a conscious human in that sense. So therefore, I'm just going to, you know, be a conscious human, a conscious individual. There are effed up people doing effed up things. That's unfortunate. I'm gonna keep doing my best. Alright, cool. Anyway, took the ADHD pill, 3 p.m. I was so wired, ridiculously wired. Oh my god. I did not sleep that night. Not at all. And it was like the next shift I had started at 6 a.m. or 6:30, whatever. And it was like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, midnight. I'm like, I can't sleep. I'm going to take more notes in my diary. I'm going to read more. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. I can't sleep. I'm going to take more notes in my diary. Or notebook, whatever. I don't know. I don't like calling it a diary. I'm going this way, in fact. So, it's just like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I'm like, 4 o'clock a.m. I'm just like, cool. Guess I'm not sleeping tonight. And I'm just like, cool. Wow, really? Fine. Alright. Whatever. So, let's get to the point, alright? Because Look, I took the ADHD pill. Attention is great until it's not. Okay? So let's get to the benefits, the absolute core benefits that I've experienced straight up. And by the way, disclaimer, I feel like I get a lot of the benefits because I acknowledge who I am, I acknowledge the talents that I have, and the talents that I can work on, the talents that I can build up. But at the same time, I balance it all. I meditate, I contemplate, I find times to rest, I find times to space out and not always be doing things and not always be engaged in things and not always be going from one thing to the next. I have seen where bouncing back and forth left and right can be a great benefit, and I've seen where it can be a great detriment, right? So, therefore, awesome. So I went out of state to this certain place, and I was like wondering if I can remember all the directions, if my memory will serve me well, and also if I can do it all while driving. So pretty freaking sweet. I did it. Anyway, let's wrap up this video. How long has it been going on? Okay. So the benefits, again with a disclaimer of, look, the jip jap, the jump, the jumping back and forth, there are benefits, but keep it in balance. Okay. So the benefits of low boredom threshold, low bullshit threshold, especially if you're among friends and having a conversation where it's just like the low boredom threshold, the low bullshit threshold, it comes forth and you're like, look, and I'm not saying verbalize this type of stuff, but it's just the mentality, the feeling, the soul of, look, this is going on, but like, it's lagging, it's getting stagnant, it's, becoming obsolete. So like, let's move forward, like, let's move on. I have better things to bring forth, right? You have this betterment aspect about you. You have this creativity, this spontaneity aspect about you. So by the way, this isn't like a list. This is like an integrated kind of mass of different facets of the diamond, right? So this is the diamond, so to speak, and I'm going to approach it at different facets, different aspects of the diamond of, wow, ADHD, it can be valuable. So yeah. So this low tolerance for bullshit, for boredom, for stagnation, it's like all of this is happening and you're like, no, come on, like let's shake it up, come on, like let's make better things happen. And creativity, it's seemingly easier for somebody who's bouncing back and forth. You know what, it's not even back and forth and left and right, it's bouncing, it's leaping, right? Like a frog. You're leapfrogging to different and better aspects of life, aspects of reality, where you're just like, yeah, but what if it was this? Yeah, but what if it was this? Right? You keep shaking things up. You keep shaking the snow globe of life. And you're like, let's keep making it better. Let's keep making it more awesome. Right? And the detriments of hold on, mucus attractive, right? The detriments of being like really focused on stuff is like you could be spending hours and hours and hours on something, and then hours after that or the next day you could be like, oh wow, that was actually a waste of time, because after I rested or after I pivoted, after I changed gears and I'm looking at this now, I actually want to go in a completely different direction. oh, okay, I wasted a lot of time on this. Right? That aspect of like, you can have that deep work, that deep focus, boom, 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 be spending hours and hours and hours, and then after like a pivot, a change of gears, after resting, or after sleeping on it, you could be like, actually no, I need to go in a different direction, right? So, to flip that on its head and to acknowledge another benefit of the quick gypped mind, whatever, I'll try to come up with a term with it later, is you're just pivoting regularly. You're just one-upping yourself regularly. Where it's just like, yeah, this, what if this, what if this? Alright, cool. Let's do a little bit of deep work on this, deep work. Well, what if this? Alright, cool. Now, that time was not necessarily wasted because it got me, going down the road, got me inspired, so therefore I'm doing this. But, if time was wasted or not utilized to the best, hey, at least I learned something. So yeah, to go back to that deeply focused person, it's just like, yeah, okay, fine. You didn't waste the work, per se. It put you on a path, sure, but the quick zinged mind is like, okay, take me on a path for a little bit, but it's like, 30, 60, 90 minutes as opposed to like, 6, 10, 12 plus hours, right? It's just like boom, boom, boom. I feel like you're adapting, reacting, what's the word? Yeah, the adaptability of it all, the morphing, the Kirby-ness of it all, right? Where it's just like you're absorbing stuff, you're becoming this, and it's just like, alright, cool. Let's bounce. Let me absorb this. Okay, actually, that's delicious. Let me become this longer and longer. Boom, boom, boom. Anyway, I gotta do stuff. More vids to come. Check out my links, yada yada. Catch